Hi Zakir, can you hear me?
Yes, I.
Hi. I guess everybody is able to hear us. Can someone just drop a message in the chat box and let us know if you are able to hear us? In the meanwhile, I'll share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Is the screen visible?
Yes, Vivek.
Okay, great. I will just wait for one more minute. Let others join, and then we can begin.
Sure.
All right. I think it's time. Let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to the session. My name is Vivek. I'll quickly introduce myself, our speaker. Then I'll talk about our organization, I2E Consulting, a little bit. We also have a quick case study related to the Azure services that we've used and delivered a project for our customer. And then I would like to hand it over to Zakir, who would then be taking forward the session. So my name is Vivek Kadam. I look after the sales at I2E Consulting. I've been here for 9 years now, and overall, I've had 14 years of experience in sales and customer success. With me, I have today Mr. Zakir Sheikh. He's the technical sales professional at Microsoft Modern Workspace Division, Modern Workspace and Azure Services. He also has a long history of working with Microsoft and Azure Services, Modern Workspace. So yeah, if everybody is able to view the screen, just one last time, can someone in the chat box let me know that the screen is visible before I move on?
Yes, Vivek, it's visible.
Okay, great. So let's get
Go to it.
started then. I'll quickly introduce our organization, I2E Consulting. We are a software services providing company. We have offices in the US and in India. We also have a satellite office now in Canada. We've been in the business since 2008, and ever since we've been in the business, we've been working with the pharma domain. We have a number of pharma customers and, of course, non pharma customers as well. Um, these are the list of our customers. We are partners with, of course, Microsoft, Planisware, Data IQ, AWS. We would like to call ourselves a PPM services providing company. And because we are also working with the pharma customers for a very long time, our major offerings they revolve around life sciences strategy and consulting. We do a lot of work in the PPM space and Planisware, so Planisware project management. We do a lot of work again in data analytics and AI. Cloud and data engineering is also one of our major offerings, and Azure services specifically they fall under cloud and data engineering. Lastly, we do a lot of work around Microsoft, so we would like to call it digital transformation. And in here, we do a lot of work when it comes to SharePoint, Power Platform, be it Power Apps, data visualization in Power BI. So anything and everything that falls under the Microsoft umbrella, we it is kind of categorized under digital transformation. On the technology front, as you see, we have a lot of experience when it comes to data visualization and data lake creation technologies. You can see a few of the technologies that we are expert in. Now, based on these technologies itself and the experience that we've had with the pharma customers, we have delivered one such project where we have used the Azure services. This is for a major customer that we have. We've been working with for a very long time, close to 15, 16 years now. So this is a case study where the pharma customer that we were working with was facing a lot of issues with the R&D data. So they wanted to build one central repository where all the data can be stored, and people will be able to search the data from various departments, will be able to search the data effectively and easily. The biggest challenge was the data that was coming. It was coming from various systems, and it was also in various formats. So because of which, there was a need of a manual search every time the data was needed. It was, of course, a lot. It was time consuming, and it was not effective as well. So what we did was we built a solution for them, and we with the help of Azure services, we created a data lake where all the data that was coming from various systems. This is R&D pharma data. So this data was stored in this data lake, which was created, of course, using Azure. Azure Data Lake services, and later on, with the help of the Azure cognitive search option, we were able to help the customers search the data from this particular data lake. The first and the foremost thing we did was we made the data uniform. As I said, the data was coming from various system and was in different formats. We had to have a uniform format, which we did. And later on, with the help of this data lake and the Azure cognitive search, people were able to search the data easily. The process became pretty easy. And because the people who were using this solution were from various departments, and we had to give them the role based access. A few people were able to access the data, a few people were not able to access certain set of data. So we controlled all this using Azure Active Directory. There was a secured login facility for a set of users, and they were able to search the relevant data. Now this data issue that we've resolved, it kind of helped the customer in a great way. First of all, they were able to eliminate the scattered and the redundant data, the data which was not helpful for set of audience. The data streamlining was done very easily. There was no collaboration between the cross functional departments, and because of this system, now people were able to collaborate, because, like I said, the data which was in various formats was now uniform and was much understandable. And a team that was kind of investing a lot of time and effort in finding or searching the data manually was kind of replaced by this particular system. So it was a huge help, and it kind of created a huge impact. So this particular system that we've built, we like to call it Scientific Data Cloud. And if you want to know more about this system, we will definitely take all your questions in the end, or we can connect separately as well. uh, all the services that we have used in this system, Zakir will now be telling us more about the same services in detail. So, Zakir, I would like to hand it over to you. Thank you so much. Please share your screen and take it forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Vivek. So, a warm welcome to all of you uh, for joining us. As today's agenda that fundamental of Azure fundamentals. I will be taking you through a basic of Azure. What are the features and capabilities Azure will give you? So I will share my screen quickly. Okay, my screen is visible, right? Vivek, will you just confirm
Yes,
me?
yes,
Okay.
it is visible.
So yeah. So today's agenda is cloud computing models and responsibilities, where we will be looking that if you go with the infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, what will be your responsibilities and we'll be looking different cloud computing models. So we know we all of we know that there are three models that infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. But I'm just recapping it so that we can understand it better. Then we have different Microsoft Azure regions that I will be telling where the regions are and what are in India how many data centers we have and where those data centers are located. Then we we'll be talking about uh, availability zone, availability set. If you have a mission critical application or virtual machine you want to host, then what would be the better option to achieve the 99.99% SLA? We have different services. We will be briefing about those services like Azure Compute Services, Azure Network Services, Azure Storage Services. And then we will have the pricing tools that Azure Calculator, how you can estimate the cost if you are planning to host your uh, applications or virtual machines to Azure, what will be the estimate and how the cost can be saved. So that we will be, we will be looking in detail. Now, this is the slide everyone tell about. I know that, but if you look at this is the on-premises model what you have, where you have different layers. So you have a storage layer, network layer, compute layer, virtualization layer, and then you create a virtual machines. You install runtime applications, and you give the data and access, right? So if you have this on-premise solution or on-premise data center, it is your responsibility to manage everything, right from the cooling, right from the electricity, then the virtualization layer, networking, everything you will have to manage that, and that always some efficiency or some challenges you face because being managing a data center at our premise that always have a challenges. So what you can do, you can host your application to Azure, and we have a different models which you can choose depend upon your requirement. So if we talk about infrastructure as a service, these are the layers which will be managed by vendor. Okay, and these are the layers like virtual machines or operating system runtime. It will be managed by you as a customer or consumer. Now, when we should use infrastructure as a service. So I'll give a couple of case studies that if you have a legacy application which installed on a Windows server and that you want to host on Azure data center, you can use infrastructure as a service because it will give you control over the operating system or virtual machine. Rest of the things will be managed by Microsoft, right? So this is the way you can use infrastructure as a service. Other example is also there. For example, if you want to lift and shift your environment, you can use infrastructure as a service. Then you have a platform as a service where uh, this layers right from storage to runtime, it will be managed by vendor, and these two layers, application and data and access, it will be managed by you as a customer. Now, when you will choose platform as a service, so if you have applications which are compatible with the latest with the latest platform like SQL or .NET, those platform, if your application is compatible with that, you can use platform as a service to host your application. Rest of the entire layers, being operating system or virtualization or runtime, it will be managed by vendor. So you need not to worry about the these layer that what is the operating system, whether the operating system has been patched or whether the operating system has been upgraded, whether the runtime like SQL or the IIS, those application has been upgraded or so only you need to work. Only you need to worry about the code which you developed, the application which you developed, and the data and access. So that is the platform as a service which you can use here. Uh, Last, we have under this module that is software as a service. So in this category, we have Microsoft 365. Those are the applications which are developed by Microsoft, and you only. Uh, so Rajesh, do you have a question here? Okay. So data and access. Yeah. Do you have any question, Rajesh?
You can send your question in the chat box
Okay.
or the
So
Q&A box, Rajesh.
data and access, if you talk about, whatever the data you have and the identity and access management solution. So that is your responsibility, whom you want to give the access to, or rights to access your data. Now, these are the different regions what we have. So we have three data center in India, that is uh, in Mumbai, that is West India. We have a data center in Pune, that is Central India, and in Chennai, that is South India. Okay, so all these data center uh, are paired with each other so that you have the high availability. And we have a availability zone in Central India. So if you want to host a mission critical application, highly available application, you can choose this data center to host that. It has been, collected in the form of geography. Okay. Okay. Now availability zone. So availability zone is very, very important when you host your application or virtual machines or any service which you want to use. So you want your application to be highly available. And if you want your application to be highly available, the data center, any data center, it should have a multiple region. It should have multiple availability zone, so that in case of one zone goes down, your application should be available. So that is the reason that Microsoft is having availability zone in Central India data center. There are three different zones, and each zones are connected with a different independent power, cooling, and networking. So uh, the source of the electricity or the source of the power and cooling are different, so that in case of one zone or availability zone goes down, your application will be running smoothly. Then we have availability set as well. So uh, if you look at, we have different rack in the server. So if you host a VM, you should know that where the VMs is being hosted. And if you have another virtual machine which is providing the same services, so it should be hosted in different rack and different update domain. So in case of power failure of one rack, that is fault domain, your uh, application or your service should be running up and running. So we have this update domain and fault domain concept, where you can host your VMs, your services in different racks. So in case of in case of updating that particular rack, your service should be up and running. Now, why I was telling about this availability zones and availability sets, because you want to achieve the SLAs. So service SLAs is very important if you have a mission critical application, the defined SLA. So in case of you go with a single instance, single virtual machine, uh, so you will get 99.9% availability. And if you have the VMs in availability set, the fault domain and update domain, which I have explained you, then you will get a 99.95% availability. If you go with the VMs in availability zone, we will have 99.99% availability. So that is the reason I have explained you that availability zones and availability sets here. We have different services, so I will touch very, the services which we use usually. So number one, and most of the customer they use Azure Virtual Machine. Uh, Azure Virtual Machine is infrastructure as a service offering where you can create virtual machines. You can host different services on that virtual machine. There are different types you can choose. There are different series are there from where you can choose different configuration, different compute you can choose, and you can create a virtual machine. We have a service called scale set, VM virtual machine scale sets, that is designed for automatic scaling of identical VMs. In, say, for example, you have a website or service, web service, and you want that the it should be automatically scaled based on threshold like 70%, 80% of compute being utilized. So you want to increase the VMs, or a particular time you want that the machine virtual machine should be increased from 2 to 3 and 4, and then if the load is not there, so it should be automatically scaled down. So that is the service and benefit you will get with virtual machine skill set. We have app service, that is a web service what you have in platform as a service offering. So you can host your web, mobile, and API applications on app services. We have functions as well. So if you don't want the infrastructure should be there, but if you want to compute at a certain time or certain trigger, then you can use a function Azure functions here. We network services in network services we have Azure Virtual Network, Azure Load Balancer, VPN Gateway, and Azure Application Gateway. So whenever you host your infrastructure, the first thing what you will do you will create Azure Virtual Network. That is the VNet which you can create. Under VNet you will create certain subnet, and that subnet, and under that subnet you will host the virtual machine. So if you want a different type of virtual machine, you want to host in different subnets so that those virtual machine should communicate securely, communicate with each other, having uh, a firewall in between and all those, if you are hosting those type of infrastructure. So here, if you create a VNet and under that uh, if you create a subnet, you will have a better control. You can control that from where the communication should go to which virtual machine should communicate to which virtual machine. Or if you have web servers, you can put in one subnet and the database server in another subnet. So that is required here if you uh, host that type of infrastructure. We have Azure Load Balancer, so that will allow traffic to be managed from, if I want to balance the traffic among different servers, so we can use Azure Load Balancer there. VPN gateway is very important when you want to connect your on-premise uh, infrastructure, on-premise data center to cloud, to Azure, or if you want to connect uh, two different two different uh, tenant or two different services, two different sites in Azure. So whenever you want to uh, connect your on-premise service to Azure, definitely you want to establish a secure tunnel, and this is the VPN gateway what you can use here. We have Azure Application Gateway, which will help you to manage the web traffic, and it will give the low latency to your user. So anywhere the user will be there, that location, the Azure Application Gateway can be used to distribute the traffic. We have Azure Storage services. So blob storage is there where you can store any type of data, any kind of data. It is that is highly scalable. We have disk storage, which provides a disk for your virtual machine. We have managed disk and managed disk there, so you can choose. File storage, we have it is fully managed file shares, which can be used with SMB protocol. So you can have a file server environment in Azure using file storage. Then we have archive storage, which is very cost-effective storage, which you can use uh, to store. We have different a different storage category like archive or cold and hot storage. So different tier we have so that you can save the cost and you can use storage there. We have different uh, pricing tool. So I just want to take you through the pricing tool that Azure calculator, what we have and how you can save the cost. So if you want to minimize the cost on Azure, we have several options like Azure reservation, RI, we have Azure hybrid benefit. So you can use your license with Azure and you can save the cost. So I'll just switch to website and I'll open to pricing calculator to show you that how you can get the estimate of services. So any question if you have, shall I take now or Vivek, shall I take now or at the end of the session?
I think we can take the
Okay.
questions if you're done with the presentation.
So Azure calculator, I am going to, take that. That will take another ten minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Please cover
Okay.
the calculator as well.
Okay. Okay. So this is the, a pricing calculator, what we will have. Uh, okay. So if you look at, we have a different services there, right from compute, networking, storage, and so on. So, say we'll have a scenario here. Say, for example, a small SMB customer who wants to host Active Directory server in cloud. So Active Directory server requires a server with license, CAL license, everything, and it is a capital expenditure for any customer. So what they are thinking, the customer is thinking to use Azure because it will use the operational cost. It is monthly cost it will be there, and the license part which is included with Azure. So uh, whenever you have Active Directory on premise, license cost also to be considered here, right? But if you look at what will be the requirement for Active Directory server, so I'm going to take a first virtual machine and then I will show you what are the different options we have. So I added the virtual machine here. Uh, you can change the name that it will be Active Directory server. Uh, then this is the US, I'm in dollar cost. So I want to convert it into INR. So I'll just go below and I'll say INR so that the cost will be shown in the Indian rupee. We have different region as I shown you. So I want that Active Directory server to be hosted in central India. Okay. Then we have this operating system. So this Active Directory will be installed on Windows Server. We require only operating system. We have different tier. So we'll select the standard tier. Now, so these are different category what you have. So there are different series which you can choose from. So if I say it is a general purpose, and these are the instance series. So you can go and get the information about the those instances. So I'll just show you that if you want to get the information about this, you have this option and you can go the pricing details and product details and documentation. Okay, so it will explain you about these fields what we are selecting here. Okay, so if I want to say go to pricing details, so these are the pricing details. We will get it here. Okay. As I told you, these are the series that this is the bustable series, very cost effective series. Okay. You can choose. Uh, so I'll just you can change the currency and you will get that. So here we have the currency option. I'll just change. So we have these different series which you can use. Now, so I selected general purpose, and under this series, there is a very cost-effective series that we can select here. So I'll select this BS series, and I'll go with say 4 core and 16 GB of RAM. Uh, it- then we have 730 hours it will be running, so it will 30 days. It will be charged. The virtual machine instance it will be one. Here the saving plan what you have. So this is pay as you go model. Under pay as you go model, uh, you whatever if whatever the consumption you do it will be charged. But we have a different plan, that is RI plan. I will be talking RI plan here, that reserve instance RI. So it is very the cost saving option. If you say to Microsoft that this particular configuration I will be reserved for 1 year, then 41% discount you will get on this virtual machine. Okay. And if you say that it will be the same configuration I will be using for 3 years, you will have huge discount of 63% approximately, right? This is how you can use it. Now we have Azure hybrid benefit. So if I select license included, it means Windows Server license is included in this in the estimate. But if I say I have a Windows Server license along with the software assurance, okay, and if you want to use your license with Azure, you can use that. That is called a license mobility, and Azure hybrid benefit you will get. If I select Azure hybrid benefit, you can see that the cost decreased here. So this is the benefit what you can get here. But remember that the license along with software assurance must be there to use your license in Azure, and that is called bring your own license. So I'll select a license included. Okay. Then what the compute I have taken that 4 core 16 GB of RAM. This is the compute what we have taken. Now what we require disk. So we have option storage disk which I have shown you that. So we have premium SSD and standard SSD. So being a Active Directory server, I'm okay with standard uh, SSD and LRS I will select here. We have 128 GB storage I'll select here, and the number of disks which I'll select one. So it will cost me that. Uh, then what else I want? This server will be hosted in Azure. The next thing what I need to do, I need to connect this Active Directory server to my on-premise data center. So we have a firewall. One firewall is there on my on premise. Another firewall is there at Azure end. So what I want to connect, establish a secure link between my on-premise infrastructure to Azure infrastructure. So what we require VPN gateway. So if I select VPN gateway, the cost will be, the options will be added to get the estimate here. Now, if I see this is VPN gateway and it will give an option that which region you want to select. So obviously we have selected Central India earlier. I'll select the same here. We have VPN gateways. We have this, high bandwidth express route as well. I'll select VPN gateway. We have different plan. So if you want to know what the bandwidth you will get and what are the uh, additional functionality or features you will get, we have that. But for this, I'll select a basic VPN. Now, how many hours you want? So I want it to be connected for 30 days, so 730 hours. I'll select. Uh, Now, if you go with this basic VPN, you have these, options like site-to-site VPN, how many site-to-site VPN you connect, how many point-to-site VPN you connect. So it support 10 tunnels. It means if you have 10 branches, you can connect all those 10 branches to Azure firewall. Then we have this VPN, so I'll select this VPN. And if you look at if I say to 25 GB, this is the monthly, the data outbound data transfer. It's Microsoft will not cost for you, but if you select 50, so up to 50, uh, okay, so up to 100 GB the data transfer what you have outbound, you will not be charged, and then later it will be charged, right? So I'll select this 100 GB. Okay. Now what else we require? We have this one server. If you want to have additional domain controller, you can add one more server. So this is now what I want. I want to get this estimate. So we have export to Excel. You can save and you can have that. So this is, a basic about Azure Calculator. If you are planning to host your infrastructure to Azure, this is the first thing that you can get the estimate. And there are so many different tools you have to optimize the cost. So this will be the estimate what you will get, and you can change. You can get very cost-effective solution using Azure. Yes, Vivek. We can take up, questions if they have.
Sure. So everyone, the session is now open for question and answers. If you have any questions, please go ahead and paste them either in the chat box or in the Q&A box. Well, in the meanwhile, I would like to tell you that this is a recorded session. Everybody will get a recording link so that you can watch this session again. You can also contact us via email later if you want to discuss any particular topic in detail. For now, if you have any questions, please go ahead and, like I said, paste them either in the chat box or in the Q&A box. You were saying something, Zakir?
Yeah, I will check chat if it is there any question. Okay, no, there is no question in chat as well.
Hmm.
So shall we ask a question to you? Do you have any reserve discount are available on Azure? There is a question. Very good. So Ranjit, thanks for asking the question. Thank you very much. Do you have reserve discount are available on Azure app service usage? So no, it is a reserve instance is for the virtual machine. Okay. But you can connect with Vivek to get, a better pricing and everything. So always, there is something which can be offered by our partner. Vivek will help you to get the better price and better discount. Right, Vivek?
Perfect. Yeah. Anyone, you have any queries about this Azure services, the pricing model? Uh, Please feel free to contact us separately. Zakir has already explained you how the Azure calculator works. Uh, if you still have any further questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to us. As a partner, we work with multiple distributors and also with Microsoft directly. So we definitely will be in a position to offer you the uh, best of the rates.
Thanks, Ranjit, for asking your question.
Okay, I think there's one more question here. What are the best
Uh,
practice for managing Azure cost? This
uh,
from Himanshu.
Yeah. Hi, Manshu. See, if you have Azure subscription, there is a cost advisor there, to optimize your existing compute or infrastructure. So there are a lot of there are, different tools are available in Azure itself to manage, optimize your cost. Vivek, if you want to add something.
Yeah, I mean the best practices as you rightly said, you need to, and then you can always contact us, the partners. We are in the best position to help you manage your cost. We'll be doing a lot of consulting with you to make sure that your investment in Azure is optimum. We'll also be performing, so we usually perform audits with most of our customers to understand their existing infrastructure, and then we provide the best and the optimum solution, which is effective, both technology wise, solution wise, and cost wise as well.
Right. So cost optimization is always, there always a scope to improve. So it is ongoing process, and partner will always help you to optimize, your cost and give the better pricing always. For intensive such as
Yes.
SAP and SQL, which is the IT time. So Smita asked that for intensive workloads such as SAP HANA and SQL, which is what is the so all it's depend upon the IOPS, and so it requires detailed uh, analysis that it depends upon your requirement, how many users are there. So we cannot say that you go with the premium, or ultra premium. It all depends on the IOPS, how many IOPS will require. So we need
N-
to have a detailed analysis, and then we can suggest that. Thanks, Mita, for asking a question.
Right. We will take another few questions before wrapping up. So, guys, if you have any questions, please go ahead and paste them here. If you are unable to ask the questions here, you can always send them in an email, and we'd be more than happy to respond to your emails. Right. Right, Zakir, maybe we'll wait for another couple of minutes. If there are no questions, then we can wrap this up.
Sure.
Okay, so another few minutes, people. If you want to ask any questions, please go ahead. All right. So, well, there are no questions. So, I think we can wrap this up, Zakir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time and joining the session. Uh, uh, we, as in I2E, we do a lot of such events every month. We do events in collaboration with Microsoft, and we also do events on our own. We have, a series of events happening every month. We call it I2E Tech Talk, and then there are other titles as well. So please follow us on LinkedIn and other social media channels to get the latest news. Once again, thank you, Zakir, for your time. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you all in the next session.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks
Bye
for your
bye.
time.